The day Karen moved into the house across the street, I knew trouble was brewing. Her perfectly pressed blouses and that clipboard she carried like a badge of honor screamed, HOA Tyrant. By week 2, she'd already sent me a certified letter demanding I move my backyard grill because it violated aesthetic covenants. A grill, tucked behind my fence, barely visible unless you were snooping with binoculars. Which, let's be honest, Karen probably was. I'm Jake, by the way 32, single, a mechanic who likes his beer cold and his weekends loud. My little ranch-style house in Willow Creek isn't much, but it's mine, and I've spent years making the backyard my oasis. String lights, a fire pit, and yes, that damn grill. Karen's letter hit like a slap. Relocated or face fines. It read, signed with a flourish like she was the queen of suburbia. I laughed it off at first. Big mistake. Karen wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was a one-woman crusade. Every morning, she'd march down the street, clipboard in hand, jotting down infractions like she was auditioning for a reality show called HOA Nightmares. My grill wasn't the only casualty. She fined Mrs. Delgado for her unkempt rose bushes and scolded Tim, the kid next door, for leaving his skateboard on his own porch. "It's a tripping hazard, Timothy," she'd shriek, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. The neighborhood WhatsApp group buzzed with complaints, but nobody did anything. Karen was relentless, a human bulldozer in pearls. I figured I'd just ignore her, keep grilling my burgers, maybe wave at her through the fence to mess with her head. But then she escalated. One evening, I came home to find a neon orange violation sticker slapped on my grill, with a note. Final warning. Remove by Friday, or it's confiscated. Confiscated? My grill? Oh, hell no. I stewed for days, pacing my garage, wrench in hand, muttering to myself like a man possessed. Karen wanted a war. Fine. I wasn't moving my grill. I'd spent too many summers perfecting my rib recipe to let some busybody dictate my life. But I needed something bigger, something that'd hit her where it hurt her precious, pristine view. That's when the idea struck, wild and reckless, like something out of a late-night beer-fueled brainstorm. I didn't just want to keep my grill. I wanted to make Karen regret ever picking a fight with me. So, I did what any reasonable, slightly unhinged guy would do. I bought a food truck. It wasn't hard to find one. A buddy of mine, Carlos, had an old taco truck he'd been trying to offload. Beat up, but functional, with a working grill and enough space to cook for a small army. I drained my savings, painted it fire engine red, and had Tim, who's handy with a spray can, tag it with "Grill This, Karen," in big, sloppy letters. The plan was simple. Park it right on the street, technically on public property, just outside her bedroom window. HOA rules couldn't touch me there. I spent a week prepping, rigging the truck with speakers, stringing up fairy lights, and stocking it with enough propane to grill for days. I called in favors Mrs. Delgado offered her famous salsa, and Tim's dad donated a cooler of hot dogs. The neighborhood was in on it, whispering excitedly like we were planning a heist. Friday night, I rolled the truck into place at dusk. The engine growled, and the tires crunched against the curb, stopping inches from Karen's perfectly edged lawn. Her bedroom window glowed, curtains twitching as she peered out. I hopped out, flipped on the speakers, and blasted Sweet Home Alabama, loud enough to wake the dead. Then I fired up the grill, the sizzle of burgers filling the air with that unmistakable smoky aroma. Neighbors started poking their heads out. Mrs. Delgado clapped from her porch, and Tim gave me a thumbs up, filming the whole thing on his phone. Karen stormed out, clipboard in hand, her face redder than my truck. "This is unacceptable," she screeched, waving her pen like a sword. "You're disturbing the peace." I leaned against the truck, flipping a burger, and grinned. "Public street, Karen. Check your rulebook." She sputtered, citing noise ordinances, property values, anything she could think of, but I just turned up the music. The twist came when she called the cops. I'd expected that, but I hadn't expected Officer Daniels, a regular at my poker nights, to show up. He took one look at the truck, read the sign, and burst out laughing. "Jake, you're insane," he said, shaking his head. "But you're not breaking any laws." Karen's jaw dropped. Daniels grabbed a hot dog, told her to file a formal complaint if she wanted, and left. The neighborhood erupted. People streamed out, grabbing burgers, dancing to the music. It wasn't just a cookout, it was a rebellion. Karen stood there, clipboard limp, watching her perfect little world unravel. By midnight, her lawn was littered with napkins and soda cans, and she hadn't said another word. The aftermath was glorious. Karen's HOA reign crumbled. The WhatsApp group lit up with stories of her past overreaches, and people started ignoring her fines. My food truck became a weekend staple, parked just close enough to her house to keep her on edge. I didn't make a dime, but I didn't care. Every sizzle of the grill was a middle finger to her clipboard. She stopped coming outside. Her curtains stayed drawn, and last I heard, she was talking about moving. Good riddance. My grill? Still in my backyard, untouched. Sometimes, you don't just want to fight, you throw a damn party and watch your enemy choke on the smoke. So, next time some HOA Karen tries to ruin your vibe, don't just fight back, go big. Get yourself a food truck, crank the music, and grill like your life depends on it. The end.